If you're going on a cruise, consider this a public service announcement, as cruise lines have been reminding passengers of the do's and don'ts when it comes to what they can and cannot wear on a cruise. Hi there, I'm Ilana from the website lifewellcruise.com. Welcome back to my channel. Now we are on board Holland America Rotterdam right now for a 12-day Panama Canal cruise. It has been beautiful so far. I will do an upcoming video about this ship, our first impressions, and of course a review later on. But for today, what I did want to talk about is kind of a little bit of a pressing issue. It seems that some people are not aware that there are some things that you genuinely can't wear on a cruise, or at least in certain ports of call, and why. And some cruisers are actually very upset about it, and they say maybe the cruise lines should be doing something differently. Now, these things have been talked about on cruise line Facebook groups as well as cruise news websites, and we are dealing with things that are potentially illegal, other things that are against the rules, and other things, well, that might just leave you a little bit embarrassed if you are turned away from the dining room or anywhere else on the cruise ship. Now, before I get started to share these 5 things that you probably shouldn't wear on a cruise ship, I did want to mention that if you like this video, if you find it helpful, informative, or enjoyable in any way, then please do give this video a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it, and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Let's get started. Oh, and by the way, thank you for bearing with me. I am filming this now on my balcony, so I apologize for any noise that you hear in the background, but I hope that you do enjoy the sound of the ocean waves. Now, I'm going to save the biggest and most important one for last, because this is something that is not only illegal, but it is something that John Heald on his Facebook page has been publicizing for people that are not aware. There seem to be a lot of people that are not aware of this, so I will save that one for last. But there are some other issues that have been brought up on some of the different cruise news websites. So firstly, robes at breakfast, or even pajamas at breakfast. Now, while there's no hard and fast rule that you cannot wear pajamas at breakfast, to the buffet, or to the main dining room, well, it is frowned upon for adults really to be wearing this to the dining room. And well, there was an article in Cruise Critic where the person who wrote the article, I will leave it linked by the way down in the description below this video, but where she explained that she went to wear her robe to the MSC Yacht Club where she was planning to eat breakfast, and she was told politely by the crew members to please go back and to change her clothing, and that a robe or pajamas wouldn't really be appropriate for the breakfast dining room. Now, I have to say, on rare occasions I have seen this on cruises, but not very much, outside of children and outside of Christmas morning, by the way, which I do think are the exceptions. But otherwise, the main dining room, the restaurants, well, it isn't like going down to your kitchen. You are actually going to a restaurant. And if you wouldn't go to a restaurant in pajamas, you probably shouldn't go to a cruise ship restaurant in pajamas either. In any case, let me know your thoughts. Should people be allowed to wear pajamas for breakfast in the dining rooms and the buffet? Have times just changed, and is this okay now? Please let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Number 2, pool wear. Now, while cruise lines really haven't talked about this to their guests outwardly, I definitely see this in a lot of Facebook groups where people do point out that they have been seeing people go even to the main dining room in pool wear, and while they might be wearing a cover-up, that they are really very see-through cover-ups, and they don't find them very appropriate. Now, I'm not sure I have a big thought on this, but I do think there is a potential that you can be turned away, and it might be a little bit embarrassing. So at least when it comes to going to any of the sit-down restaurants, it probably is better to put on a light sundress, or for men, shorts and a t-shirt, and not go in a visible bathing suit. Number 3, now this one always ruffles some feathers because there is a rule against this, but I'm not sure that it is always followed. It is that people are not supposed to wear baseball caps in the dining room or restaurants, in particular in the evening. I think that there is some leeway during the day. Now, will people be called out on this? I'm not sure, and I do know that in some cases people say that they're wearing their hat for medical reasons or something else, so I do think that we should reserve judgment as passengers, but it is something to know that even if you might at home wear a baseball cap in a restaurant, that in the dining room, that will, at least from the other passengers, well, it might get a little bit of a side eye. Now I know there are a lot of people that are going to say, why is the cruise line telling me what I can and cannot wear? But the fact is, there are a lot of places in the world that will do just that. Which brings me to point number 4. If you are going to a religious building, a mosque, a synagogue, a church, then some things that you'll want to avoid are spaghetti strap dresses, tank tops, and short shorts. Now you can actually wear sundresses, it's not a problem, but just bring a scarf or a little light cardigan, something to just cover your shoulders, or a shawl. Now I can tell you, if you go into, as an example, the Vatican, they are not kidding about that rule. They will actually provide people with what looks like a blue square tablecloth kind of thing, and you actually have to wrap that around your legs if you're a man or woman wearing very short shorts, or you'll have to wear that blue square of fabric around your neckline and your shoulders, which really didn't look that comfortable. So it is important to just bring a shawl with you when you are going to any religious buildings. Number 5. Okay, so this is the big one. And please let me know if you've known about this already or if this is new information for you. Because apparently this was new information for at least one cruiser, but I've actually seen this mentioned many a time in Facebook groups, so I know it is not only this one person. But basically, Carnival Ambassador John Heald shared on his Facebook page the story of how a cruise passenger was actually very upset because they were in one of the Caribbean islands where they were wearing camouflage clothing. And well, if you know about this rule, you know what might be coming next. But apparently what happened is this passenger left the cruise ship in camouflage clothing, so even just a t-shirt or a pair of shorts, that will do it, in one of these Caribbean islands where it's actually illegal to wear any camouflage clothing or even having camouflage items like a water bottle, illegal. And they were basically walked back to the cruise ship. I think that they used the words that they felt like they were a criminal or something like that, and that Carnival should really have let them know about this. I think they may have also said, I've sometimes seen where people say that Carnival and other cruise lines shouldn't go places where they have this rule, because we should all be able to wear what we want. But that isn't the way it works when we do travel. So it is important to know there are some countries, that includes Barbados and several other Caribbean islands and even other places in the world where wearing camo clothing is actually illegal, and you can be turned back and you can actually be arrested. I haven't heard of anybody being arrested, but it is better not to take any chances. So, well, consider this a little bit of a public service announcement. Leave your camo clothing at home if you are going on a Caribbean cruise, or just wear it on a cruise ship. Now, I never like to tell people what to wear and not to wear, but there are actually some things that are just good practice and some important things to know. And in the case of this Carnival cruise passenger, it seems like he would have liked to have this information before he went on his cruise. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Please let me know your thoughts on these things, and in particular, please let me know what you think about breakfast. Should people feel comfortable to wear pajamas and robes if they're going for breakfast in the buffet, in the main dining room, in some of the specialty restaurants maybe? Is that something that these days is now okay? Please let me know down in the comments below. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And please subscribe if you haven't done so already. Bye for now, and happy cruising.